What's up YouTube? Jeff back again from dopetechdaily.com. Today I'm super excited. We got a big one. It's the LG V30 unboxing finally. Been trying to get my hands on it all day. Launched in the US today at At&t, T-Mobile, and Verizon. You can get it at Verizon and At&t in stores. T-Mobile I think has it online only. This is the black model from At&t. Gonna go ahead and get into the unboxing, some first impressions, give you guys a size comparison. Let's go ahead and open it up. The guy at At&t did take the plastic off of my phone, but the rest of the box is intact, so I'll show you guys what's in here. You got a little LG branded microfiber cleaning cloth. Never seen a company brand their logo on there like that. That's kind of cool. Right on top, we've got the phone itself, so I'll go ahead and take that out and set it to the side. You can see the black model right there. It does have that unfortunate At&t logo, but whatever. You've got the 2-year promise on the LG V30. Very nice. You get a second-year manufacturer warranty support from LG. That's great to see because in the past they've had issues with boot loops, and a lot of people have an issue buying an LG phone because they're worried about that. Well, with this, it should give you 2 years of peace of mind. You don't have to worry about it for at least a couple years. And then, of course, you got the getting started guide from At&t. Inside here, probably have, yes, we've got a SIM tool, which I have too many of, and then you've got some more documentation for your phone. Nothing too exciting, and again, as usual, put that to the side. And then in here, you've got your USB Type-C cable. Of course, as usual, all the flagships this year using USB Type-C. Again, I have way too many USB Type-C cables, so I will put that to the side as well. You've got your Quick Charge 3.0 enabled fast charger, LG branding, white one. Now, one thing you'll notice as I picked it up, there's nothing else in the box, which means you don't get any headphones in here. So the international models, from what I understand, had headphones. A lot of people over on Twitter were complaining about the fact that the US carriers seem to have all removed this from the packaging for the LG V30 here in the US. I don't think anyone's done the T-Mobile one yet, but I think actually Dez, the product guy for T-Mobile, did that unboxing, and I don't think they have headphones in theirs either. So it looks like wherever you buy it in the US, you're not going to get headphones in the box, but we should probably be used to that by now. It's still pretty annoying. It'd be nice to get some in the box. Okay, the next thing here, let's go ahead and take a look at the phone. So got to keep my microfiber cloth there. Again, you see the At&t logo. That's kind of annoying, but what are you going to do? Got this sticker at the bottom, which will peel off. Hopefully it doesn't leave too much residue. Just a little there, which I'll have to get off in a bit. The LG logo there at the bottom, fingerprint sensor. You got the dual camera on the back, which of course has that amazing new 16 megapixel f1.6 aperture. Very impressive. First thing on a smartphone. You've got the second wide angle there, which now has f1.9 on that 13 megapixel wide angle. Very nice. Optical image stabilization on that main camera, which is excellent. We're going to test the camera out and put it against some of the best in the business. Glass back here with a Gorilla Glass 5. It also comes in silver. I like the black better. At&t is the only one selling that. On the front, you've got an 18:9 extra tall aspect ratio with Gorilla Glass 5 again, of course, QHD+. Over here, you got your volume buttons, and then over here, looks like we've got the SIM tray, and as usual, right on the back, your power button doubles as the fingerprint sensor. On the bottom, you can see right there, you got your USB Type-C port, and of course, one of the most important things on the top, we have a headphone jack. Revolutionary feature these days. Google came out with the Pixels this week, and they got rid of the headphone jack in the Pixels. Very disappointing. So now iPhone, we've got Google doing that. We've got Motorola doing it. LG and Samsung seem to be the only people that want to keep that headphone jack, and I'm really happy about that. You also see the bottom there, speaker grill, which we'll be testing out as well. So I want to go ahead and boot this up, talk about some of the software. It does have 4 gigs of RAM, Snapdragon 835, IP68, water and dust resistant, pretty standard stuff. Has wireless charging in all of the models now, which is really nice. On the LG G6, they decided to skimp on wireless charging. In some of the models, it was a region-specific feature, so glad to see LG went with that. Also, the first time that LG's ever went with OLED, so we're going to go ahead and boot this up and then take a look. I'm going to walk through it, put my SIM card in there, set it up, and I'll show you guys the fingerprint sensor setup. We'll come back and take a quick tour of that software and see how the UX 6.0 is working on the V30. And then we'll also compare the size to the Galaxy Note 8, the iPhone, the old Pixel, and a few other phones I have laying around. So we'll be right back in just a second and get into the rest of the unboxing. All right, YouTube, we're back, and I went ahead and put my information in there. I got the SIM card in there. It's all set up. I do want to make a couple of notes, a couple of first impressions. The fingerprint setup was one of the fastest ever. It took only a couple of scans, and you guys saw there it had a little issue there on the first try, but it seems like the fingerprint sensor is very fast on this guy. Definitely the setup was the fastest I've ever seen. So we'll see how that goes. The next thing that I want to mention is the screen. The screen is just so much nicer than the one on the LG G6. Of course, this is LG's first foray back into an OLED screen. It's a P-OLED display. The first time they've done it since the G Flex 2, which was kind of a disaster. It's a really nice looking screen, very vibrant. Of course, I'll be comparing it to the Galaxy Note 8 screen, but I'm very impressed. A couple of weird things that I noticed when I first booted. You guys can see right here. Phone safety, do not remove the battery when your phone is unresponsive. Tap to check how to restart the phone. It's kind of a weird error message considering, you know, the phone doesn't have a removable battery. So I don't know how they think I'd remove the battery if it was unresponsive. Anyway, they're going to show you how to do a hard reset, I guess. So that's kind of weird. You've got app scaling options, of course. You can choose to show the apps in full screen. Nothing that we haven't seen before. Or if you want to do standard, which is 16 by 7 by 9, 7 by 9 there, just like a standard aspect ratio. You can choose to do that in the Galaxy S8 and the LG G6 as well. A couple more things about the hardware that I didn't really mention before that I've noticed after holding it a few more minutes. Definitely this is a light phone. It definitely feels really good in the hand. The build quality is nice. One thing I am a little concerned about is because it's got Gorilla Glass 5 here on the back. Gorilla Glass 5, in my experience, is always scratched up a bit more than the past Gorilla Glass versions. I know it's not supposed to, but that's just my experience. And a lot of people I've seen that had the pre-production units of this did catch scratches on the back, so I'm worried about the retail unit having the same problem. Of course, I guess we'll see how it goes. Overall, the bezel-less, design looks very nice. Very similar to a Galaxy S8, as we'll see in a second. LG does have no app drawer by default. You can actually go into the settings, change that pretty easily by going to home screen, and you can go up here to home and app drawer right there if you want to, or even use Easy Home if you want to get your app drawer back. You'll notice there's the My At&t app, Empire, Final Fantasy, quite a bit of bloatware on here. It does have 64 gigs of storage. Let's see actually how much of that is used up out of the box. I've got 15.3 gigabytes used out of 64, so you're looking at about 49 gigs of usable space. Probably can get rid of most of that bloatware. One of the new features of the V30 is the floating bar, which is supposed to take the place of the secondary ticker display that was on the V20 and the V10. You can see you can put a lot of those things that were there on the floating bar. It's right here on the side. It's going to show you how to use it a little bit when you first boot it up. And you can see it slides out, and you've got some quick options there. You can slide it back and back in, kind of like the edge screen options on the Galaxy phones if you've been used to that. One thing you will notice, unlike the Galaxy phones, if you go to the sides of this is mostly flat, so you won't get as much color distortion near the edges. Should also be easier to use tempered glass screen protectors on here. You guys know for the Galaxy phones with those curved edges that are pretty substantially curved, it's certainly difficult to do that. On the back, it does have a little bit of contouring towards the edges where it sort of bends over the side, but nothing as substantial as a Galaxy S8 or a Galaxy Note 8. Definitely the software isn't a whole lot different than what we see on the G6 aside from that floating bar and a couple of other widget changes. LG's software is kind of an acquired taste, depends if you like it or not. It's not super close to stock. They still got the very colorful sort of settings menu here, and they still put all the apps on the home screen like an iPhone out of the box and default. So we'll see what else is up with the software, but there isn't like a revolutionary change in this new version of LG's UI. So definitely I'm impressed with the display for sure, and definitely impressed with the build quality of the phone. I definitely like it. It feels smaller in hand, and when we do the size comparisons in a second, I think you'll see that. A little concerned about some scratches, coming up on the backs. I will use a case eventually, so it won't be a huge problem. Definitely excited about having my headphone jack back since everyone's taking it away, and also that quad DAC, man, that's in here. I can't wait to test this with some nice wired headphones and see the performance. And of course, I'll be doing some camera comparisons to the Note 8, the iPhone 8 Plus, etc. So for this unboxing, let's go ahead and finish up the size comparison so I can show you guys that, and then we'll get out of here and I'll have some more videos for you this weekend. Just let me know what you guys want to know in the comments. This is the Galaxy Note 8 right here. Much taller phone, so again, 6-inch 18 by 9 on the LG V30. It's just a lot shorter than the Galaxy Note 8. It's also thinner than the Galaxy Note 8, even though the camera bump does protrude a little more on the V30. Neither one of them are too noticeable. If you do the width here, of course, you'll notice Samsung has a little bit taller aspect ratio. So you'll see the V30 is a tiny bit wider. It's not a whole lot, but it's a tiny bit wider. I actually think it makes it a little nicer. The Note's a little too tall for me. I don't have a Pixel 2 or a Pixel XL 2 yet, but I do have the old Pixel XL. So here's my old Pixel XL. You can see how the V30 compares to that. It's actually a little bit shorter than the old Pixel XL, which had the traditional 16:9. And you can just see how comically large the bezels are on the old Pixel. It's kind of crazy how big those bezels were last year. And they're back on the smaller Pixel 2 this year. Here's a smaller Galaxy S8. It's my coral blue one. I haven't turned it on in a while. It's been a while since I've used it. But you guys can see how it compares to the LG V30 right there. The V30 is a little taller. Galaxy S8, of course, has a little bit smaller diagonal screen, even though the aspect ratios are a little bit different. We've got the iPhone 7 Plus. So my actual iPhone 8 Plus is downstairs. I forgot to grab it, but I do have the 7 Plus. The build is actually pretty much the same dimensions. You can see the iPhone 7 Plus, one of the largest 5.5-inch phones ever. It is a traditional 16:9, but you can tell right there, of course, it's much larger in pretty much every way, and the width as well is larger than the V30. And then the final phone that I want to compare to is the regular Galaxy S8 Plus, so the larger of the two Galaxy S8s. You can see they both have sort of that bubbly side, but like I said, you can see the curve is much more drastic on the Galaxy S8 than the curve right here on the LG V30. It almost looks flat at the side by comparison because this curve is much more drastic. This one definitely feels more bubbly in the hand. This one feels a little more rectangular. And the S8 Plus is taller. And of course, the LG V30, just like on the Note 8, it's a tiny bit wider. So overall, I mean, you can see there the size comparison. In terms of these new bezel-less phones, the LG V30 can definitely compete. I think it's got a very nice look to it overall. So I think LG could have a winner on their hands. Of course, they could have done to release the phone a little bit earlier and maybe bring the price down a bit. Around $800 to $850 in the US is a little expensive. So anyway, I come away pretty impressed. First impressions, let me know what you guys think about it. Build quality, display, what you want me to look into for this phone. Of course, I'll be doing a lot of videos this weekend. Try to get out at least 2 more videos to you guys. You guys can find me at dopetechdaily.com, Google+, Instagram, and Twitter. The links in the description. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my content so I can make future videos like this. I really appreciate you guys checking it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.